Hi, I'm Dilee. This is my rig rundown. Yeah, I was start listening to music when I was 12 years old. Then since I was a kid, then I was going to school, like studying music, Western and Eastern music. While I was in school, when I was in O-level time, so I was with a band, like a rock band. I was performing with a rock band as a lead guitarist. So we wrote some music and I performed some places. Then I decide later on, because our band just split because of most people want to just higher studies different countries. So then I decide, so like there was a good technology that time, and like I saw like a lot of people using technology to DJ because it was like fun, and like I start doing that with some of my friends. Then I learn from them. Then I start playing some gigs in Sri Lanka. Then I got opportunity to play in one of a reputed club in Colombo. That's Clances. So I was playing there as a resident 2006 to 2009. Then 2010 I left Sri Lanka because I want to take my career further. So I left Sri Lanka in 2010. So I moved to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Then I was studying there as a student, international student, and I was doing a computer diploma. Then since I was doing DJing and like I was playing gigs around Kuala Lumpur, then I met a lot of people. Then they see the talent, and I got an opportunity to host an event and have a residency in Kuala Lumpur, one of the reputed club, in 2012. So I was working there as a resident for 2 years. Then 2015 I moved from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Then I moved to Cambodia in 2016. So after I moved there, I was teaching people, like teaching students of Ableton Live. So I teach there as Cambodian DJ Academy as an instructor. Then I moved to 2017. After that I moved to 2017. I moved to Bali. So Bali, I played a lot of places in terms of like one of the top Southeast Asian clubs in Bali, in Indonesia. So then last year I moved back to Sri Lanka. After I moved back, so I will start working as a Ableton production instructor at DJ Academy, Sri Lanka, and Hit Factory Audio Institute. So I do lectures over there as well. That's a little bit about me. Let's get into my rig. Let's start with the core of my rig. So this is Push 2 and with Ableton Live. So I use this one as my core clock. So when I press play here from Push 2, it will sync everything, your analog to MIDI controller, everything will start play. So I use this one to create stuff and loop them on the fly. Even like I use this one for my drums, like when I program drums, like for my production. So I use Push 2. So it's awesome and I love it, and everything is user friendly. Yeah, I moved back last year. So after that I had to arrange my studio from the scratch. So slowly I had to spend a lot of time to arrange my room and my room acoustic, and I have to calibrate all my speakers. Then at that time, because I was producing music using Focusrite, 6i6 second generation audio interface. Then after it's been like I've been a producer for almost 9 years now, so I realized because there's more clarity and there's more good like quality audio. So then I research about like what are the best audio interface in the world. Then I found that the number one interface in the world is Universal Audio. So all the best producers, composers, even like movie makers like Scope, they use that, and it's the best part is you will be able to get the analog emulation using the Universal Audio, so you can get the actual analog sounding. And I was lucky enough to meet Shane from Yamaha. So I met him and I was talking about like, oh yeah, I researched, then I found out like you're the distributor in Sri Lanka, so I decided to buy one and I purchased one, and I'm super happy with it. And like if you guys wanna see the difference, just you can go check my SoundCloud, my previous releases and my new releases. The audio quality is very different, and it's you have more dynamic range. Okay, next I want to tell you about my Moog Mother 32. So it's a analog semi-modular. So I use this one for my bass line. Sometimes I use this one for my synthesizer sound, but more stuff I do with this and like more arpeggiator synthesizer sound. So it's inbuilt, like it's a standalone arpeggiator. It's inbuilt. So when I want to take outside and if I want to jam live with a friend or wherever, like, and it has a arpeggiator inbuilt, so I can play with it. And I use this one for my production, for most of my production, like bass lines and some bass heavy synthesizer sounds. I want to talk about my MIDI controller. This is from DJ Tech Tools. So this is called MIDI Fighter Twister. So I use this one for my live stuff and also when I'm producing to record automation. And why I love it for my live gig, because I can add bunch of effects and I can go back and forth, because I can have 4 pages of MIDI commands and I can rotate them and like get more out of it. So now I'm gonna talk about my Roland TR8. So this is a hybrid drum machine. It's not analog. So I use this one for my live rigs because I can get most out of my drums separately rather than I'm just going with DAW sounds. So I prefer like that because I have more control and it comes with effects and reverb, so I can use those as well. So this is Roland TR8 and I love it. So next thing I want to talk about my W audio channel strip and microphone preamplifier. So I haven't plugged it yet. I recently bought it and I want to plug it because I'm waiting for my Furman power conditioner. So because in Sri Lanka we don't have stable power. So this is my analog unit, so I can record stuff. So I bought it for record straight record from my mother sub 37 straight to this one, then to my Apollo. So I get 100% analog sound out of it. I just want to talk about ElectroHarmonix. So this is a reverb. It's an Ocean 11 reverb, and it has like 10 different effects. And I love why I bought it, and I love that Ocean reverb that they have played. They have reverb, they have echo, and you have the metronome as well. Like you can sync it to the beat, and you have polyrhythm as well. It's awesome and I love it. I use it for my live rig with my Mother 32. So yeah, so this is a FM synthesizer, Yamaha DX7. So FM is frequency modulation synthesizer. So I use this one for mostly I take out of pads and stuff. So I record pads and then go back, edit in Ableton Live and do some sound design, and if I want to change sound, so I can do that. And I use DX7 for my live rig to get most pads. This is my vintage tape echo. So it's from TC Electronic. It's called Alter Ego, and it has 10 different effects section, and I can do like 4 loops at the same time, and it has tap tempo, so I can sync with my global BPM when I play live. And yeah, and I love the sound of this TC Electronic Alter Ego, and I use it for my Mother 32 and Sub 37. I especially want to talk about my Moog Subsequent 37. So this is an analog paraphonic synthesizer. So I was lucky enough to have one, and this one I use it for my live rig, and especially for my production. I use this one for get bass sounds and more synthesizer sound. So it has amazing arpeggiator also. It's a standalone arpeggiator, and you can do a lot of sound design with it, and it sounds so good. So next thing I want to talk about my headphones. So this is Bear Dynamic DT990 Pro 250 ohms. So it's amazing headphones that one of my good friends introduced to me a couple of years ago. He's from India, and he's Ableton certified trainer also. And after I start using them, like I fall in love with it, and now I'm doing mixing and post-production and pre-production, everything using that, especially when I'm traveling. So I love it. And if you want to go for a good headphones, this is a really good brand. Finally, we're going to talk about my monitors. I'm using HS8 from Yamaha, and so far I've been using it for 4 years. So far it's sounding good. So I use my HS8 for mixing and pre-production and post-production. So the advice I can give it to an upcoming DJ or producer. So if you want to be a DJ, so I would say like listen to a lot of music and research, because there's a technology. And if you want to be a producer, so you have to research, and you have to make sure you have a good room acoustic, and you have a good hardware, so like softwares. But it doesn't matter if you want to start from scratch, but you can always start using a software. All right, that was my rig rundown. So if you guys need any help, if you guys want to connect, like the best place to connect with me via social media. I had a great time today. I hope you did too. I'll see you soon.